All right, folks, hang on tight. America is waking up, and Donald Trump is acting like the world still revolves around him. The White House is posting more photos of Trump and Melania, calling them America's power couple. And let me ask you this. Do you really think that's going to make anyone forget about the new Epstein files or all the scandals the former president is tangled up in? No way. Last summer, when the public saw dozens of emails and documents with Trump's name all over them, no one thought a cute little photo with the First Lady would magically fix things. But Trump? He's convinced, smile, and they'll forget everything. Here's the thing. America has already learned to separate the show from the politics. And if you think his bizarre social media freakouts are just for entertainment, think again. Post after post, he's attacking Indiana because the state Republicans refuse to play along with his gerrymandering schemes. Very disappointed in the Indiana Republicans, he tweets, waving his hands in text like he just spilled his coffee. He's blaming Senators Rod Bray and Greg Good for not wanting to redraw districts to grab 2 extra seats in Congress. The irony? Democrats have been redistricting quietly for years, but Trump turns it into a public tantrum, like his own party isn't tired of his theatrics more than the political opposition is. Then comes the economic comedy, which in reality is anything but funny. Moody says 23 states are already in a recession, 11 are on the edge, and Michigan is the latest to tip into contraction. But Trump, in his media bubble, keeps screaming that it's a golden age for America. In his universe, prices drop automatically, jobs are everywhere, and every headline is proof of his genius. Meanwhile, millions of Americans feel the pinch. Higher prices, shrinking purchasing power, anxiety about the future. And Trump? He's living in a parallel reality where problems don't exist and a few pictures with Melania fix everything. The gap between what the media is reporting and what Trump is selling couldn't be clearer. Left-leaning and centrist outlets are covering real crises. Economic contraction, corruption scandals, Epstein investigations. Fox News? They're running segments about Taco Bell allegedly taking potato items off the menu. That's right. While American families deal with rising costs and political chaos, the right-wing press focuses on missing fries from a burrito. The irony? Off the charts. The sarcasm? Non-stop. It's a perfect example of how Trump and his supporters try to control the narrative not with facts, but with entertainment. Meanwhile, the Democrats in California are showing how you can mirror Republican tactics, but with strategy and authority. Governor Gavin Newsom, through Prop 50, sent a clear message. If red states try to play political games, blue states will respond with force and strategy. This isn't just political theater. It's a lesson for the nation on maintaining moral authority while avoiding chaos. And Trump's personal media spiral? It's both hilarious and tragic. His constant attacks on former allies, endless posts about a great America, and attempts to drag governors and senators into his personal drama look like a stage performance for an audience that's increasingly skeptical. Even his closest supporters are beginning to doubt that a cult of personality can cover up real problems. Economic downturn, public dissatisfaction, and scandals that can't be swept under the rug. Americans are starting to realize that social media pics don't solve problems, and Trump's politics are increasingly a comedy of errors. His own departments try to justify failed tariff policies, claiming that lifting some restrictions is a huge win. But look back. Those tariffs first raised prices on everyday items, and now somehow removing them is considered a triumph. Satire has become policy, and policy has become farce. And the media split is clearer than ever. Left and center outlets actively report on crises, corruption, and Trump's economic failures. The right either ignores the issues or turns them into a joke, focusing on trivial details. The result? Some Americans are starting to realize they've been fed lies, sold illusions of a great America and the perfect president. The bottom line of part 1? Donald Trump is losing control of the media narrative and drifting further from reality. His attempt to distract with showmanship and personal images aren't working. Even his allies are starting to question him, and the public sees it. Trump's politics are more about social media theater than real solutions for America. And that's just the first half of the story. Part 2 will dive into how Trump's self-destruction is splitting MAGA, how his inner circle is panicking, and how real American interests are being ignored. We'll break down internal conflicts, Epstein file scandals, economic incompetence, and media spin that can't be hidden any longer. All right, folks, we've hit the juiciest part of this whole circus. If the first half showed Trump losing control of the media and trying to sweep economic and political chaos under the rug, the second half shows his own MAGA movement slowly turning its back on him. The irony? The same people who were screaming, "Make America Great Again," just yesterday are now asking themselves, does this guy really represent our interests? Let's start with Marjorie Taylor Greene, basically the Trump whistleblower inside MAGA. On the morning shows, she flat out says Trump's policies aren't America first anymore. H-1B visas, 600,000 Chinese students flooding in, claims that foreign workers are better than Americans. This isn't just against the movement's ideals. It's actually pushing Trump away from the people who supported him. Her line about Air Force One? Priceless. Hey, maybe keep the plane at home and actually focus on domestic stuff on Americans. The sarcasm is obvious. A former president spending millions on flashy gestures while ignoring real problems for citizens doesn't just look ridiculous. It's losing him trust within his own camp. Then we get to the surreal scene. Trump supposedly welcoming a former Al-Qaeda leader to the White House and spraying him with cologne. This isn't fiction. It's exactly the kind of exaggeration critics used to show how absurd his decisions are. MTG, criticizing this, is really showing that even his most loyal supporters are starting to see his actions as not just wrong, but offensive to American service members who risk their lives against those terrorist groups. Trump's reputation takes another hit when his former allies and inner circle become sources of outright comedy. Nick Adams, the guy known for alpha male videos and going to Hooters on Valentine's Day, is now the official ambassador to Malaysia and keeps posting these bizarre statements like, "If you're not with Trump, you're against America." It's political clownery, turning government positions into episodes of a sketch comedy show. Governor Newsom's response? Perfectly sarcastic. We're pro-America and critical thinking, not cults of personality. That line nails the gap between political reality and Trump's theater. And then there's the issue that's been gnawing at Americans for a while, the Epstein files. Democrats and some Republicans like Thomas Massie are demanding the release of info that exposes the darkest corners of elite society. Senator Barrasso? Classic Republican dodge. We'll see what comes from the House, clearly kicking the can down the road. Massie reminds his Republican colleagues, Trump can protect you and endorse you now, but in 2030 he won't. If you don't vote to release these files, you'll look like you're defending pedophiles. Straight and clear. America sees who's on whose side and who's acting for their own ambitions, not for the people. Meanwhile, the media divide in the country is growing wider. Left and center outlets cover all these crises, corruption, and economic struggles, while right-wing media usually focuses on trivial or secondary stuff. The result? Part of the MAGA audience is waking up, realizing they've been fed lies. That golden age illusion is crumbling, and trust in cult figures is slowly evaporating. Trump's economic incompetence is front and center too. His administration tries to spin failed tariffs as a big win by lifting some restrictions. The sarcasm is dripping. Tariffs first raised prices on essentials, coffee, cocoa, bananas, and now removing them as being sold as successful leadership. Reality check. American families paid that price, and no PR campaign changes the feeling of economic stagnation and unfairness. Internal conflicts within the Republican Party are reaching new highs. Trump gives Marjorie Taylor Greene the nickname lightweight Marjorie Taylor Brown. Lindsey Graham gets dragged into his media battles, and Candace Owens publicly admits she feels embarrassed for supporting him. Americans are watching the cult of personality tear the party apart from the inside, turning it into a chaotic machine where personal ambition trumps the public good. Finally, the North Carolina situation shows just how far Trump is willing to go for control and intimidation. Federal forces, supposedly under his regime, are moving into peaceful neighborhoods, patrolling shopping centers, creating an atmosphere of fear. This isn't just a political show of force. It's a signal to the rest of the country. Trump's power is ready to use state resources to suppress dissent, even within his own party. Wrapping this up, it's clear Donald Trump has turned the Republican Party into a chaos machine, eroding trust among his supporters and losing influence over media and political processes. His personality cult attempts to distract with flashy pics and social media posts, loud slogans, and noisy accusations aren't saving him anymore. America sees it all, and this time, Trump's show isn't hiding the scandals, the economic failures, or the fractures inside MAGA. America is waking up, and even his most loyal fans are starting to realize the political theater is over, and the consequences of Trump's real policies, or lack thereof, will be felt for years to come.